Today we are going to cover track days. I get asked constantly, why aren't you doing track days? You should do a track day. Hey, we have a track day. You should be on a track. You should get some gear and ride on a track. You need to be on a track day. Let's go over track days. Let's cover some track day information. So, I have been on the track and I have done a track day. A long time ago, when I first bought my R6. I was on the track with my friends. We all drove over. We were all watching track days, and we were all kind of doing our thing. And we went over to Pacific Raceways, and we were there to watch a track day. Some of our friends were racing, some of our friends were riding and racing and stuff, and it was very cool. And it was kind of my first experience with a track day. I had behind the scenes kind of stuff. I was back in the pits. I was able to go look at all the stuff. So I was kind of getting accustomed to track days. I had a group of friends that I rode with, and they were awesome. They were all racers. They were all into that kind of stuff, and they just kind of pulled me right in with them. So we were out on the track, and on the track, back in the day, I don't know what the new rules, I don't know if the rules have changed or anything, but at that time, back when I bought my 04, so it was back to 2004, 2005, the rule was when you're riding on the track, because all your lights are taped up and everything's kind of taped up, if you had to slow down, you put your leg down. So the other riders behind you could see that you were slowing down by when you dropped your leg down. I don't know if that's still the way it was, but that's the way it was back then. So we're out on the track. The white flag came up for some reason. Something was on the track. Somebody had wrecked in one of the corners ahead. So they wanted everybody else to slow down. So they were coming into like the home stretch there, the really long stretch right in front of where I was standing. And about 100 yards this way, I hear a boom. Like a big boom. Big bada boom. And I see the back end of a bike go shooting straight up in the air, probably about 25, 30 feet straight up in the air. What had happened was, as the riders were coming into the home stretch there, one of the riders had put his foot down. The other rider behind him didn't see it. So as he came around the corner, he assholed this guy at 120 miles an hour, splitting his bike completely in half and shooting the back end of the bike, like I said, 25, 30 feet up in the air. I thought they were both dead. And I just kind of sat there and I heard the explosion, saw the fire, saw this bike go flying up in the air, and I was like, holy shit, somebody just died. And then I'm like I said, this is 100 yards that way. It's off to my left. Suddenly, a bike comes flying by me, and then a rider comes flying by me on his back, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do? What is happening? The first words out of my mouth, like when we were on the track and we were watching these guys race, my like level of excitement and my high on just 100% just motorcycles was over 10. After this guy went flying past me, all the color drained out of my face. I turned white and I looked over at my best friend and I was like, I'm selling my bike. I'm done. I'm selling my bike. Fuck all of this. This is stupid. I can't believe you guys do this. This is retarded. I'm going to die someday riding my bike. I'm selling my bike. It was horrible. But, that was my very first track experience. I wasn't even on the track. I was just watching at the time. And it scared the crap out of me so bad that it still is in my head today. All I hear is that explosion and see that whole bike shooting up in the air. And it scares the crap out of me. Long story short, I have nothing against track days. I would love to do a track day. The thing that I also learned on the track that day was the guy that went sailing past me laid there screaming for a little while, and then he stood up and walked away. He's in pain, but he walked away. He had a broken ankle. He kind of limped away, I should say. The guy that was on the bike that split in half where the back end shot up in the air walked past me. Not even 20 minutes later. He had a broken clavicle, and he had one tear in his leathers back here from his foot peg. Both lived, both walked away. One limped, of course. But the lessons I learned on the track that day were pay attention. Pay a lot of attention to what you're doing. I don't know what class they were in. I don't know if they were in the fast class. I'm assuming they were in the fast class, because if you hit somebody at like 120, you're probably going a little fast. So I'm assuming they were probably in the fast class. Probably experienced riders who probably just didn't catch the leg. But these guys walked away. So what I took away from that was not the fear of wrecking, and it wasn't the fear of the accident. The idea was that the track is probably the best place to wreck if you're going to have a wreck. The track is probably one of the best places you can do that. One, it is a flat surface. Two, your bike is probably just going to slide somewhere. It's probably not going to explode unless somebody cornholes you at 120 miles an hour. Also, there are medics on duty. There are people there that can help you. You have instant help and instant people around you like this. Out on the back roads where I ride, up in the mountains where I ride, there's no one. If I go down, I'm dead. If I have an incident to where my bike goes down a ravine, falls down a cliff, if I'm lucky enough to not go down the cliff with it, great. But most of those roads that we ride on that we kind of don't really think about, we can die on pretty easily. There's a lot of things that take place where I ride compared to like on the track. Track days, you have other bikers. You don't have cars. You don't have traffic. You don't have trees. You don't have guardrails. You don't have stuff in the road, limbs, dips, places where the road's eroded and there's a huge pothole. We don't have any of those issues on the track. You have those on the roadway. Now, to cover the other portion of the track day. So, yes, I am a little bit leery of track days simply because of my first experience with a track day. That was probably not the best one to have. However, I also don't want to wreck my bike on the track. Zane to me, he's a brand new bike. I got him in 2016. I got him in July of 2016. So I rode him July, August, September, and he got put away. And then I rode him last year from March, April, May, June, July, August, and then up to September. I've literally ridden Zane less than a year. Like I've had him for like, if you want to count like time I've had him, yeah, I've had him for 2 years. I've ridden him for about 9 months. I don't have a lot of time in on that bike. I don't have the expertise in on that bike to take him on a track. And he cost about $15,000. The last thing I'm going to do is take my $15,000 bike to the track and wreck it. Now, wrecking on the track is probably not a thing that's going to happen automatically, but the chances of it are probably way better than, anything else. I would assume you're going to lay him down and he's probably going to slide. I don't have the money to replace my bike. I also ride on the streets very carefully because I don't have $15,000 to go replace my bike. So if I'm out riding with friends and stuff and I'm not as aggressive as I could be, I don't have $15,000 to replace my bike. If something happens and I break fairings or I smash something, I can't just run out and go buy stuff. I have to be very frugal with my money, and I don't have a lot of cash laying around to just go buy a front end for my bike or just go get a new foot peg or just replace the fairings or go buy new wheels and tires. I don't have that kind of money. So if I'm not careful when I ride and I'm not being cognizant of everything around me, and if I go down, not only am I wrecking my bike, I'm also out riding for however long it takes me to repair that bike. So if I get in an accident in July or August, I'm not riding again probably till next July or August. So those are things that I think about when I'm out riding. Now, not to say that the track means you're going to wreck. I could wreck out on the street. I could wreck anywhere. Somebody could not see me and hit me, or whatever happens. We all ride. We all know what the chances are. We all know that we take that kind of into, we take responsibility for that whenever we leave the house. But I'm not going to do it intentionally. I'm never going to put myself in a position where I'm going to wreck my bike just to show that, look at my balls, look how big they are. I don't have balls. I don't have to worry about that stuff. I am not going to go kill myself on my motorcycle just to prove to somebody, look how fast I am. But, that being said, I do have in the works I do want to buy an 04 R6. I want to replace my old one that I had, and I would like to take that bike out to the track. I would also like to buy a bike that's already been downed and been wrecked. I have ridden wrecked bikes before, and I can tell you this. Riding a wrecked bike that nobody cares if you lay down, I don't know about you, but I ride 100% differently on a wrecked bike. I'm not really worried about wrecking me. It's the bike I never want to hurt. Like, all my bikes have been pretty brand new and pretty posh, so it's kind of like my 04 R6. Never wanted to wreck it. Never wanted to lay that bike down. Never did. The 05 Raven. Never wanted to wreck it. Never did. Zane. Never want to wreck him. Probably never will. Anything that happens will not be something I did as a matter of going out of my skill set or out of my riding skills or out of anything that I did. It wouldn't be an accident that was caused by something I did intentionally. It would be something that another person caused or something on, I got target locked. I got whatever, something on the road got me, a deer hit me. It could be anything, but it wouldn't be something intentionally that I put myself in a situation to do. So track days, I would love to do a track day someday. Right now, I don't have the money for them either. A lot of them are $200-300 a day just to go out and do a track day. It's a very expensive hobby. I would love to get into it someday, but probably looking at like a year or so before I can do that. And like I said, have to buy a bike. I want a different bike to go on the track with. If you guys are thinking about doing a track day, there's some really great information out there. The Ridge has some really awesome stuff. They have classes out there all the time that they do. There's people out there that will come and help you. I was told a couple weeks ago when I was getting the tires on my bike that for about $300 a day, you can go out there. There's different classes. Apparently, there's like a fast, medium, and slow class. So you can go out on the track. You can ride around. You can go out whichever class you feel like your skill set with, and you guys can ride and you can do whatever you want basically. So again, going over track days, I love track days. I would love to do track days. It's just going to be a while before I can. I don't know if this helped you guys with anything, but that was my intake, or my take off on track days, because I get asked a lot to do them, and that's kind of the background as to why I don't and why I'm not yet. I will someday. I just haven't been able to get the finances in order to get everything kind of set up to do that, because I want to make sure if I'm doing a track day that I am financially able to afford it and I can afford to wreck whatever I have out there, including myself. See you on the next video.